Hi everybody, welcome to engVid.com. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to talk to you about phrasal verbs. And I also want to make sure that everybody understands that phrasal verbs are not just casual language. You can use phrasal verbs in many situations, including academic, but especially in business contexts. So today we're going to look at a bunch of business phrasal verbs. Now again, just a little reminder, what is a phrasal verb? It's a verb and a preposition that when they are joined together often have other meanings or can have more than one meaning. So it's a bit of a collocation and an idiomatic language. So today we're going to look at iron out, brush up on, weigh in, or sometimes weigh in with something, wrap up, burn out, measure up, sift through or comb through, branch out, wade out, zero in on, pencil in, draw up, and sign off or sign off on something. So we're going to go through each one. I'll give you a little bit of an explanation and a sample, right? So to iron out, it's just like you would iron your shirt, except in a business context, you're having negotiations, for example, and you have maybe some problems, some disagreements, or some things don't really work, but little minor things. They're sort of like wrinkles on a shirt. So you discuss, you make some changes, and you iron them out. You get rid of the little problems, just like you would iron out wrinkles in your shirt. Okay, so that's it. So brush up on. To brush up on means to do a bit of a review on something and make sure you're a bit familiar with it or comfortable with something again. So in a business context, before you go to your meeting, brush up a little bit on your presentation skills or brush up on your English if you're going to do a presentation in English. Just brush up on, just review a little bit, make sure you have all the little particular skills you need just in case you have to use them for whatever. To weigh in. So weigh, like you put yourself on a scale and you weigh yourself, but to weigh in means to add or contribute, usually your opinion or your thoughts. So you weigh in with an idea or with a proposal. So what are you contributing or what you're adding to the conversation? But otherwise, in a meeting, everybody's sitting around the table. The manager will ask everybody to weigh in with their ideas about whatever the topic is for the day. Okay, not a big deal. Wrap up. So when I'm finished this video, I will wrap it up by telling you to, like my video or subscribe to the channel and so on. So to wrap up means to close, to finish something. Just like you would wrap a gift, that's the last thing you do with the gift. You wrap up a meeting, you wrap up a proposal, you wrap up some paperwork, etc. Burnout. If you're working too much, then you might feel at some point that you just have no energy and you can't think well, no mental energy, no physical energy, and you just can't do anything anymore. You have to stop, you have to rest, or you have to quit your job. So for a lot of people, they burn out means they just can't do something anymore. Now, there's different degrees, different levels of burning out. Some people burn out and they just have to quit their job. Other people just burn out today and they have to take a little break. So it depends. The key is don't burn out because you don't want to do that, right? Because it means you've a little bit melted your brain maybe. Measure up. So again, to measure like the length, height, width, your weight, etc. But to measure up means to reach a certain level of something, right? Like a quality or qualifications or all kinds of different levels. So when you go for a job interview, what they are actually doing is measuring you up. They're saying like, do you have enough skills? Do you have enough background? Are you a nice person? Or they want you to measure up to their level of sophistication, for example. So if you're going to apply to like Google or some big international company, you have to measure up by being a graduate of the top schools or having a great resume or being able to do the things that people at that company do, right? If you don't measure up, you should go look for a job at like Radio Shack or something like that. They don't exist anymore. Sift through. or comb through. So a comb, you comb your hair. So there are like little teeth. So some things go through and some things are blocked out. Sift, to sift something, like if you cook, you have some flour, you're going to bake some bread. So what you do, you put the flour through a sifter to make sure there are no big pieces. So all the small flour comes out and all the big pieces stay up top. So when we sift through or comb through, we are looking through something to find all the little things that don't belong there. So before you're going to sign a contract, you have to make sure to comb through it carefully to make sure that every word is perfect, every detail is perfect, so you don't get into an agreement or into a contract you don't want. You can sift through it or you can comb through it. Basically the same thing. Sift through is more commonly used with physical things. So here's a box full of papers, just sift through it and find the little things that don't belong or the little things that you're actually looking for. To branch out. So when a company gets bigger, they don't want to have only the office they're at now. They want to have an office in this city and an office in that city. If it's a store, they want to have a store here and a store there. So you've heard of branch stores. So some big companies have branches in many different places. So to branch out is to spread and go different places. To wade out. Now, if sometimes you go to a swimming pool, some people like to dive in. They just go quickly into it. Some people like to put their toe in, feel how the temperature, okay, it's not too cold, go in a little bit more, and then they slowly start swimming until they get to the deep end. That slow movement is basically to wade out. So if you're going to wade out into this business, so some companies, like let's say they do computers, but they want to a little bit start experimenting with cryptocurrencies, for example. So they're going to wade out into this field. They're not going to invest too much money. They're going to put a little bit and see what happens. Then they're going to hire one person and see what happens. If they see success, then they might dive in and do the full investment and build this business or this side of the business. To zero in on. So zero, like the number zero. When you zero in, so like you have a circle, a zero, and then a smaller, boop, until you hit that point that you're looking for. To zero in on means to focus or to target something very, very specifically. And it's always the full thing. You can't say zero in. It has to be all three. Zero in on your target and make sure that you aim for it particularly. Pencil in. Now, this is a bit of a casual one, but it's still, the idea is there. A pencil, like you write with a pencil in your notebook. If you pencil, and usually you would say pencil someone in. You would pencil someone in for an appointment, or you pencil in an appointment to meet that person. You can use both. To schedule, basically. To write someone into the time schedule for appointments, usually. To draw up basically means to create, but usually on paper as well. So I'll draw up a contract and we can sign it and then go on from there. So you don't have something and then you're creating it very casually and quickly until you can do a more formal one later. So you can draw up a contract, draw up a proposal, draw up a plan, all kinds of different things that you can just quickly do and then formalize later. And sign off. So now I'm almost done. I'm going to sign off. It's very similar to wrap up. Sign off, basically, especially in TV and radio, they say goodbye, and now we're going to go, and that's their sign off. But in a more business context, sign off on something. So before a business can do anything, the person in charge, like the CEO, the president, etc., must authorize it, must agree to it. So he will give his signature to say, okay, go ahead and do this plan. When he does that signature, that means he is signing off on the plan. He is giving it authority, giving it permission, etc. Okay? And that's all of these business phrasal verbs. Very useful and very commonly used. It's not just for this video here. You will hear these, you will say these in business situations a lot. Okay? So if you have any questions about this, of course, come to engVid.com and ask me there. And you can also take the quiz, of course, make sure you understand all these. And again, if you like the video, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And come back next time. We'll give you some more useful tips to help you in the business world. See you then.